Hey guys, Crystal here with your workout of the day. For your warm-up, we're gonna need a dowel stick, or maybe you have a broomstick at home, or a towel, or a band. And then if you have one of these really lovely mini bands, one of those, but this is definitely not necessary. We're gonna start off with some shoulder circumductions. So that's just gonna get our shoulders warmed up and mobile for this workout. So take your dowel, take your towel, take your band, whatever you have. The wider you grab, the easier it's gonna be on your shoulders. The closer you grab, the more intense that stretch is gonna be. So take it slow. You don't have to rip your shoulders off right off the bat. And then you can change your grip as they start to get maybe a little bit more fluid and a little bit more warmed up. So as we're twisting here, make sure that as I come around that I'm not arching my back or my chest forward. So nice neutral spine. We're only moving around our shoulder joints. You might only be able to get to say maybe here, hold that stretch, whatever you can get. We're just gonna do 5 more here, full circles for about a total of 15 reps here, guys. So that's kind of gonna be the theme of today, is 15 reps of everything. Next up, we have clam shells. So if you have this band, great. You're gonna pull it on up above your knees. If you don't have one of these, that's totally fine. It's just gonna make it a little bit more intense. So we're gonna lay on our side. I want you to make sure that that top hip is rolled slightly forward, okay? So then our feet are fulcrum together, and we're just gonna open from our knee. So nothing too quick in forms of movement here. We're just really trying to get our glutes activated. So we're looking predominantly at that glute medius. So we should kind of start feeling maybe a slight burn and activation right kind of at the top of that hip. We're just gonna do 3 more here, guys. Beautiful, and then we're gonna go to the other side. So make sure you roll that top hip forward and then just opening from the knees. Really pay attention that as I open, I'm not rolling or rocking backwards. And I'm trying to keep it really isolated to the hip. I shouldn't feel anything else activating through that thigh. Only open as much as you can through the hip joint here. We tend to sit on our butt cheeks a lot these days, and it kind of turns our glutes into these sleepy, unusable muscles. So we're just trying to get them activated. Just 2 more here. Good. Beautiful. So take that guy off. And then our last one for the warm-up here is called the scorpion. So we're gonna lay on our stomach here, guys. Okay, arms stretched out to your sides, and your chin is gonna be tucked in. And then I'm just gonna rotate through my hips, trying to open up as best I can. So you can bend your knees. You're trying to get to the ground if you can, but by no means do you have to. So my arms are trying to stay flat on the ground. My torso, my chest isn't really moving. I'm just really trying to rotate through my hips and my pelvis. So really good opener for the fronts of our hips, as well as warming up that low back. So let's give her 3 more each side here. And then we'll get going into our workout. Beautiful. All right, guys, so for the workout portion, all we're gonna need is a singular weight. So whether that's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, maybe a jug of laundry detergent, a bleach jug, whatever you kind of have in the house, we're gonna need 1 weight. And then the workout is gonna consist of 3 rounds, 15 reps of every single exercise. So the first one on the list is a clean and press. So we're gonna start off with our kettlebell, and it's gonna be a full squat down, keep that chest up, and then I pull to the sides of the handles to chest height, and then I press overhead. So we have 15 of these guys to start off. Make sure you're getting deep into that squat and really stretch, press overhead. We got 5 to go here. Two more for me. Beautiful. Then we're gonna go straight into our kettlebell swings. So I'll turn to the side for you here, guys. So it's just a little squat. We don't wanna be reaching way low. Keep that chest up. And then we swing our weight using the momentum from our hips. So we're not swinging through our back at all. Nice neutral spine. I'm always looking forward. And it's the momentum of my hips squeezing that launches that weight forward. We got 3 left. Beautiful. So with those guys, just a slight arm pull. All of the work is coming from our lower half, like you're trying to jump, but somebody's nailed your feet to the floor. So explosive power, open your hips, squeeze your bum cheeks. Next up, we have a lat pullover crunch. So we're gonna be down on the floor for this one. If you have a kettlebell, grab the sides of the handles there or kind of around the bell. And then it's a fairly straight arm. We're reaching way back, reach away from your head till we tap the ground. And then when I go to pull, I want to envision pulling from my armpit muscles, from the lat. So we don't want to break from our elbows. So pull from your shoulder muscles, armpit muscles, pull, and then just crunch, try to reach that kettlebell up to the roof. So kind of 2 separate motions here. Reach back, stretch the lats, and then crunch, push that weight up to the roof. Make sure your feet are staying grounded the whole time, guys. We got 5 left here. Two more for me, 2 more. Reach for the sky. Beautiful. So next up, we have pass-through lunges. So we're gonna do 15 per leg, guys. If lunges are hard for you, I want you just to put the weight down and you're just gonna do a stationary lunge, 15 on each leg. If you want, you can even take a weight with that if you need a little bit of a step up. The pass-through lunge is pretty challenging. It's gonna unstabilize you and make you unbalanced as you go. So if you don't have that control, just do a regular lunge for this one. So for the pass-through lunge, I'm gonna take my step forward, and then as I lunge, I pass the weight underneath my leg. So the two big things I want you guys to watch for is I don't want to be leaning forward. I'm not just hinging to pass. I want to stay nice and upright, and I do want to make sure I'm getting my depth, okay? So no leaning forward, and make sure you drop down low into that lunge, pass, and then right into your next step, pass, okay? So lunge, then pass through. So 15 on each side here, guys. Keep that chest up. Hopefully you guys have a little bit more room to walk these out than I do. If you wanted, you could just do them stationary. Right here. Make sure that chest stays up. We got 5 more each leg. Two more each. Keep that chest up. Get the glutes low. It should be burning by now. Beautiful. All right, next up on the list is the side bends. So take the weight on one side, plant your feet just right underneath your hips, and then we're gonna bend to the side that has the weight. Our opposite side is opening up, and then we crunch back to the side. So a few things you guys want to watch for in these is that my hips aren't moving. I'm not moving my legs. My foot isn't lifting off the ground. So my lower half is rooted and stable. I only want to move through the obliques here and target the torso. We got 3 more on this side. 3, 2, and 1. And then you're gonna switch sides. So this time we're leaning towards the weight, stretch the opposite side, crunch back. So stretch the opposite side. And then this is where you're doing the crunch. So think to expel all your air out. Don't just kind of go through the motion. Make sure you're actually trying to really crunch, squeeze those oblique muscles. We got 2 more here. Squeeze. Last one. Beautiful. And so the last one before we head back to the top is your single arm rows. So whatever hand has your weight, that same leg is going to take a step back. Then I'm going to take my opposite hand and stabilize myself on that front leg. So hinge forward so we're as horizontal to the ground as we kind of can be. And then we're just doing a single arm row. So make sure we're trying to start the muscle or the movement, with our shoulder blade. So when I go to move, I shrug the shoulder, squeeze my shoulder blade first, and then I drive with the elbow. We got 5 left here, guys. Last one, and then we're gonna switch sides. So switch hands, that leg steps back, hinge at the waist, shrug the shoulder down and back, and drive. So think like you're trying to squeeze your elbows behind your back. You're trying to make those shoulder blades touch. We're not trying to squeeze our traps up to our ears. We got 3 to go. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Grab a drink if you need, guys, and we're gonna start right back up at the top again for another 15 reps of every single exercise. So I'll change it up a little bit. I'm gonna do this round with a dumbbell, just so you guys can kind of see how to use different weights here. So we're gonna start with the clean and press. If you found that first one that I did was too easy, we can break it down to a single arm movement. So we'll do 15 on each side. Okay, so we're still gonna go into that full squat, come up to shoulder, and then press overhead. So like I said, if that first round was too easy and you wanted a little bit more of a challenge, we're gonna do them single arm this time. Let's do 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, guys. And then we'll switch arms. So full squat, drive the elbow to the shoulder, and then up overhead. So 2 separate motions. Really good to do single arm stuff, guys. We usually have a weaker side, so it's good to test out that weaker side, make it work hard so we don't create any muscle imbalances. We got 5 left here. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. So with the dumbbell, you're just gonna hold it vertical, grab around the base for our swings this time. So again, just a little bit of a squat, and then lots of power, explosiveness. Remember, all the momentum comes from your hips, chest stays up. And don't forget to squeeze those butt cheeks forward at the top. 3 to go. Beautiful. And then we're gonna go into the lat pullover crunch. So I find the easiest way is to hold your dumbbell horizontal for these ones, around each end of the dumbbell, and reach back, tap the ground, and then up. So always try to keep tension on the muscles, guys, so when you reach back to touch the ground, don't let it rest. So it's just a tap, you're not unloading the weight. And don't be straining so hard in your crunch that your feet are trying to lift off the ground. Focus on only using your abdominal muscles. If your feet are lifting, your hip flexors are really trying to activate there. Last one here, guys. Beautiful. And then we're gonna do the pass-through lunges again, guys. So I'm just gonna stay stationary, but by all means, if you wanna walk, that's gonna challenge your balance as you pass through. So chest up. Try not to let that weight pull you around. So the weight's gonna add some intensity to the legs, obviously. But the real challenge as we pass back and forth is that our core stays aligned, it stays strong. The shifting of the weight back and forth does not unstabilize us. So we got 15 on each leg. Halfway. Make sure that front heel stays in contact with the ground the whole time, guys. If it's starting to lift off the ground, you're putting all of your weight into your toes, which is going to transfer all the weight into your knees, which we do not want. So keep that front heel in contact with the ground. Just one more each way. Beautiful. How we doing? My heart rate's elevated a little bit through the second round here, guys. So side bends, bend towards the weight, crunch and squeeze on the opposite side. These ones can be sneaky. They don't typically feel like much as we're doing them. But tomorrow you might notice them when you go to laugh or sneeze. You'll remember them. We just got 3 more on this side. Really squeeze, last one. Beautiful. Switch sides for me. So lean towards the weight, squeeze back on the opposite side. Make sure that that heel's staying on the ground, our feet aren't lifting. And then as we pull, we're not pulling that shoulder up either. So focus solely on what muscles need to be working, which is our obliques here. We got 5 to go here. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely. Okay, last one. We're going into that single arm row. So split your stance, hinge way forward, take your opposite hand for balance on the other leg. And we got 15 rows here. So make sure you're in control. Don't just let that weight drop back down to the ground. You're always in control of the movement. We got 5 to go. And 3, 2, last one. Perfect. Other side. So that weight is in my left hand, left leg goes back. Start the motion from your shoulder blade. Shrug the shoulder down and back, and then the elbow drives up. And then make sure all your stabilizer muscles are activating as well. So think your belly button is pulling tight into your core. That front leg that you're putting pressure into with your right hand is strong. 3 to go. Perfect. Well done, guys. That's second round done. Grab a quick drink if you need. And we just got one more round to go. Perfect. So I'm going to go through with the dumbbell again. I'm going to go back to both hands doing the clean and press. So we're going to grab the dumbbell horizontally on each side, full squat up to my chest height, and then press overhead. So we got 15 still of these. Makes it easy to remember, but by that third round, it's probably feeling like a lot, hopefully. But this is it, last round. Whatever you got left in the tank, guys. Don't lose form on me on this last set, though. Stay strong. 2 to go. Perfect. Right into our kettlebell swings. So vertical with your dumbbell, little squat, and launch those hips. Strong back and core. Don't let the weight pull you through your legs. Don't let it pull you down. Keep your chest and head upright. 3 more for me. 3, really squeeze the glutes. 2 and 1. We're getting there, team. Down on the ground. Lat pullover with the crunch. So grabbing the dumbbell horizontal again. Fairly straight arms. And then reaching straight up to the roof for that crunch. So remember, we're pulling from those armpit muscles. Who doesn't want nice, sexy armpit muscles? We're not breaking from our elbows. You're moving solely through our shoulder joints. And then really reach through the roof for that crunch. But make sure those feet are staying planted for me. We got 3 to go. Really reach back. Beautiful. Oh, everybody's favorite, the pass-through lunges. 15 each side, guys. If you need to, drop that weight because your legs are giving out on you. By all means, put the weight down, keep going. Just make sure you're challenging yourself. Core strong. That front heel is staying in contact with the ground. And my chest is staying upright. We got 5 left each leg, guys. I should be able to see your chest and your belly buttons because they're nice and upright. We're almost there. Drop it down low. Don't get lazy on me. We're almost there. I slightly lost count. There's lack of oxygen to my brain. Let's do 1 more each side. Awesome, guys. Wonderful. Okay. Side bends, a little breather here. So feet right underneath our hips, stretch, squeeze, back to the opposite side. Get those obliques working. Catch your breath a little bit. This is the breather part, right? Almost there, we got 5 to go. Crunch hard. And just 1 more for me. Lovely. Switch hands, stretch, squeeze back. Lots of times I find that tactile cue, guys. Put your hand where you want to crunch. Sometimes feeling, actually touching that muscle, kind of create some body awareness of what muscles you need to activate. Make sure that leg isn't lifting up. You're only stretching through the torso. We're gonna do 3 more. 3, 2, last one, big squeeze. Love it. Right into those single arm rows, guys. So split your stance. Same leg goes back as whatever arm has the weight. Hinge forward, shrug the shoulder down and back, and drive the elbow. This is our last exercise, guys, so stay with me. I've got a sweat on. Hopefully you guys got a sweat on. 5 to go here. And 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides for me. Shoulder down and back. Brace yourself on that leg. Always under control. Don't let those weights pull you around. You're in control of them. The down motions are just as important as the up. 5 to go here. And 3, 2, and 1. Made it. Crushed it. Well done, guys. Grab a drink of water, grab a mat or whatever you need for our cool down and some stretching. You deserve it. Great work, guys. It's time to stretch it all out now. Relax, recover, get some blood flow back to your muscles. So we're gonna start off with our pec stretches. So most of the time we tend to do everything in front of us, so we get really tight through our chest and that creates some poor posture. So really important to open those muscles up. So we're gonna start wall or a doorway works great. So take a fairly straight arm, place your hand at shoulder height and straighten out your elbow. And that's really about it. So you can gently kind of rotate away. Make sure your shoulder's not getting up too high. Shrug that shoulder down and back. And then make sure we're breathing. This is the most important part of our stretching, is that we're actually trying to relax through this. Let the tension out of your muscles. So if you're holding your breath, you're not going to release much tension. So I want you guys to hold for about 30 seconds, taking some nice, slow, long breaths. 1 more, and then we're gonna switch sides. So you can kind of play with the angle of your hand, guys. So it can be a little higher than shoulder, a little lower. As long as you're feeling that stretch through your upper chest muscles. And then the closer you are to the wall with your shoulder, the more intense it's gonna be. So if you're really tight, you're probably gonna be farther away from the wall. If you need a little bit more of an intensity, stand a little bit closer to the wall. Just make sure that shoulder stays down. You can even play with the angle of your hand. Maybe you turn your thumb down. Maybe you turn your thumb into the wall. Again, higher, lower. And then you're just gently trying to turn away, put some stretch through that pec. And then 2 more deep breaths for me. So big breath in, and then as you exhale, slowly, maybe turn away from the wall, let those pec muscles stretch out for me. Beautiful. Next up is the quads. So after all them lunges, you should probably feel some tension and some tightness through there. So the first one is a standing one. So make sure you're holding on to something for balance. You're just gonna grab your foot, and this might be lots. If you can't grab your foot, maybe you rest your foot on a coffee table or the couch, a chair, whatever that might be. And we're looking through for the stretch through the front of our leg. So again, that breathing is super important. And then the few things I want you guys to focus on is what tends to happen is we tend to push out our chest. So suck that belly button in. So like a little bit of a crunch here, and then squeeze that butt cheek forward. So you're trying to open your hip, stretch further through that quad. Long inhales, even longer exhales. If you find you have pressure or tightness in your knees, this is the stretch you're going to want to do. So you can either do that one. I'm going to show you for our opposite side, one on the ground if you find standing and balancing hard. So we're just going to do a 90-90 split with our legs here. So it's the back leg here that we're trying to stretch. The closer you can pull that heel to your bum, the more intense the stretch is going to be. Okay, so just a 90-degree here, pull my heel kind of close to my bum, and this might be great. So we're looking for the stretch through here. If you need a little bit more intensity, the lower you get to the ground, the more intense the stretch is going to be. So make sure your knee stays on the ground, make sure you're opening through your hip. And then you always want to slightly kind of squeeze that butt cheek forward to really emphasize opening at the hips. And then those breathing, super important. Let's take a couple long inhales and exhales. Try to imagine those muscles relaxing after all of those lunges. Perfect. Always come out of your stretches nice and slow. The last one we have is a child's pose, guys, which is for our lower back. And it's very calming to the central nervous system after we've had an intense workout. So the most common one and the most comfortable is a wide leg child's pose. So you're gonna spread your knees and then you're gonna sink your butt down as back far as you can. You're gonna reach your hands out in front of you. And then you just wanna rest your forehead on the ground. So if your forehead can't reach, maybe you stack your fists underneath you. You want your forehead to be able to sit and relax to support your spine. So deep breaths with each exhale. I want you to try and push your hips further back towards the heels of your feet. And your hands reach out in front of you. So we should kind of feel a stretch through those armpit muscles we were working all the way down into our lower back. You can walk your hands, both hands maybe over to the left side, which is going to create some openness more through the right thoracic spine and rib cage. Take a couple big breaths there. And then you can walk your hands over to the right side, which is going to open the left thoracic and rib cage. So try to expand, breathe into those areas. And then long, slow exhales. Come back to center for our last breath. Big inhale, try to expand the rib cage, and then as you exhale, nice and limp, relax into that pose. Come up slow. Really great job today, guys. Make sure you get your water into you, get your protein in, have a really great rest of your day. Well done.